Hi, good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's masterclass on Chevening Scholarship Application. Guide to Chevening Scholarship Application. There are 12 of us here at the moment. More people are still joining. Um, I think we should give about 5 more minutes to let some people who are still going to join, and then we can take it from there. Uh, our resource person is already here. Um, Emmanuel and Nadi, those of us that were here for the first masterclass, um, should be able to recognize and remember you. All right. So remember, if you join, just mute yourself. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much. Um, yeah. So tonight is just one topic that we'll be discussing. Just one topic that we'll be discussing, and that will be Chevening scholarship application. Guides to that. Guides to applying for the scholarship. All right. So we've got enough time to talk about that. You've got enough time to ask your questions and get answers to your questions. Okay. Yes. So I'm just looking at the time. It's um it's 2 minutes gone. So we've got about 3 more minutes, and then we start. All right. Yeah. So if you've got any question, feel free. You can use the chat box, or you can probably if you want to speak, no problem. You can speak, but just I think there should be a feature that says maybe you raise your hand and then you speak, you know, just so we have a decorum here, right? Yeah. Thank you once more for joining. Thank you for keeping to time. Thank you, Izichukwu F, Cyprian, Purity, Obia Warsaw, Samuel, Shakira, Mary Ann, Loretta, Chidera, Echezona, uh, Lillian, Osta. Welcome everybody. Progress, welcome. Um, We're starting in 2 minutes. So technically, we are just waiting for people to join, all right? So if you're just joining, you're waiting for people to join. Hope you're hearing me. Hope you can hear me.
Very well.
Yeah, we can hear you.
So thank you so much. So no, I'm not blabbing to myself. Yeah, so more so, it's going to be our resource person prefers it to be more like a just like we did the last time. Was it I think the last time was more of presentation than though we discussed, we asked questions, but he prefers it to be more of questions because he believes that today's or tonight's discussion or presentation or masterclass is predominantly I mean it's more specific this time around, all right? So most of us here are interested in this particular topic. So tomorrow it's going to be starting. It means that most of us here want to apply for it. So it's definitely it's possible that one or two of it's possible that you've got a question that you want to ask. You might have applied before or you're applying for the first time. So he prefers it to be a chat conversation, like we chat more like, okay. So I don't think we'll be having the crowd that we had the last time. So I think we'll be smaller this time around, which is even better for me. It's better for us to interact better that way. Um, yeah. So guys, we're gonna start now. Good evening, everybody. My name is Chukwuebuka Jake is here. I'm your host for tonight. So we'll be starting immediately. Like I said, we are discussing Chevening this evening. Chevening. I don't know. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it the right way. Yeah. So we've got a resource person. He's a Chevening scholar. What do I mean by Chevening scholar? He's gone through the process. He's been awarded the scholarship. He's done his program. He's doing very well for himself. So he basically has a broad knowledge about scholarships, not just Chevening, all right? But for want of time and for the fact that we're starting Chevening's application tomorrow, we just decided to narrow it down to just Chevening for tonight, all right? So he will be speaking to us. He decides how he wants to do it. Well, basically, like I said, bring your questions. And luckily, I don't know if he plans doing that. I think someone might be lucky. He might use your statement of purpose to do illustrations, and maybe at the end of the day, write yours for you. Sorry. All right. My chief, um, Emmanuel. I don't know if you are ready to address us. The floor is yours now, brother.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Uh,
Mhm.
Thanks for the opportunity to be here. It's really an honor to be speaking to people like us. It's unfortunate, if I have to be honest, as I speak now, I'm just outside because I'm on transit, but I just have to stop halfway to do this. It's unfortunate, yeah, but we just have to do it. So, like he said earlier, we just have to make this thing to be kind of conversational, not like a presentation. I am just seated by the side of a bar with my laptop, so I look very, very awkward where I am now, pressing laptop in a bar. Yeah. So, but let's see how it goes. We'll try as much as possible to do justice to it. Then we see the much we can go and the way forward from there. So, by way of introduction, my name is Naki Emmanuel. Yeah, I'm a Chevening scholar, a privileged one. Yeah. So I'll be sharing some of my experiences with you. Then we are likely to go through the four key essay questions and possible tips on how to go about them. Yes. But before I proceed, maybe we can take 1 to 3 questions, and the questions will be your expectations for joining this. So maybe we can just quickly take that. You can write on the chat box why our host reads that. So maybe we can check our expectations for this course, then we can now move from there. Thank you.
So, do you want someone to ask questions so we kick off from there?
Yeah, I would like to just know our expectations. Those that joined, 1 or 2 things that made them to join.
Oh, all right.
The expectations from this program, so that we know where we are going to.
So, guys, feel free to talk now. Go ahead. Like I said, you remember we are chatting, guys.
Can I speak? Can I speak?
Yeah.
Or must I type?
No, you can speak. You can speak.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Christopher is my name.
Good evening, Christopher.
Okay. So basically, my question is this: because why I'm interested in this very section is because I know. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Good
you.
evening. Can you hear me? So why I'm interested in this very section is because, like about 2 years ago, I tried pushing in Chevening scholarship. Along the line, I got so tired and so discouraged because of the plenty protocol and essay writing and all that. So maybe I would love maybe that since you, the hosts, have passed through the process, if you're able to break it down for us on how to be able to navigate through those tiring, long protocols, essays, and all that. Because it's more so passing through that. I think that's my expectation. Maybe at the end of the
Yes.
section, I should be able to understand how to be able to go about each of those stage by stage screen and tiring essays and all that. Because sometimes you write, it seems as if your write-ups are not enough, your grammars are not enough, and all that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to to make it clear, I'm not a Chevening scholar. I'm here. I'm also a student. I'm here to learn. The scholar is not the host is not the scholar. Okay, so well, um, um, for your input or for telling us what your expectation is. It's going to guide the host, to know what because I know Chevening is it's kind of broad. because I know it's broad, yeah. So it gives him a picture of what people are expecting. Um, Emmanuel, just to let you know, Lillian Wewu in the comment section, she's saying, okay, she typed, my expectation is to know how best to be successful in getting Chevening scholarship. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. One more, any other one?
I think
Then we go
Izuchukwu
from there.
was any other person. Namdi Chinwetalu said his expectation is to know steps involved in the process.
Okay, that's good. At least we've gotten at least three main expectations, starting from the last one, the steps, then how to go about it, on how to write a successful essay. Then, like Samuel asked, haven't tried it multiple times. What is it that I need to do differently to be successful? Possibly some people try a couple of times, then they're tired of the application or whatever. Mm. Okay, maybe we'll just have to start from the first person, the processes. So one of the key things you have to do if you're applying for any scholarship is to read about the scholarship. One of the key things that you need to read about is the eligibility criteria. You must have known that okay, this is what the study. So you just have to know that this is the best scholarship for me, then check the eligibility criteria. So sometimes people score almost 90% of the eligibility criteria, but one of the criteria might not really suit you perfectly. That's where people get discouraged. In this context, you may see 2-1, 2-2, or minimum of this, minimum of that. Some people usually get discouraged about it. So it's good that you read the eligibility criteria, then you read the exemptions or you inquire about the exemptions in those places where you think you may have challenge. That is one core area that you need to do. So for Chevening scholarship, it's a full funded scholarship. When I say full funded, what it means that your tuition, your flights to and fro, your living allowance, that your stipend, and sometimes other local activities within the UK are all covered for. Even your travel allowance. So it's a fully funded scholarship. So I think it is worth it. Now that you have known what it is, the next question should be, am I eligible to apply? If you are eligible, so you just have to go through the website, check the eligibility criteria, and know if you are eligible. If you are, then the next thing you should look at is how then should I apply? The application process. These are basic things that I shouldn't be telling us. For instance, the eligibility criteria. I should only tell us this is the type of scholarship it is. You go to the website and read about it, because if you can understand, if you be able to source out this kind of thing, then you can apply. But I doubt if you can't really go and find out what the eligibility criteria are or what this, or can't visit the website to read it in details, well, it's a sign that we are not ready for the stuff, because I believe it's a primary thing to do. So we can share the website, but it's your responsibility. In fact, the first stage of becoming a scholar, because the scholarship is not just about, it's not like a free gift to anybody that is working on the streets, but somebody who has an ambition, who has a career goal, who has a potential, but it's limited by fund to achieve it. So they help you to achieve an existing vision. They are not coming to give you a vision, your career goal or quarter. No, they are like catalysts. You know what catalysts are? You use it up, they facilitate reaction, but at the end of the day, they remain unused. So you cannot use Chevening, but Chevening can help you achieve your aim. So just bear that in mind. So go and read eligibility criteria. If you are eligible, the second stage is look at the document, the procedures. Do you have the required documents? At the starting point, most people don't have all the documents. Then it shouldn't be discouraged at this point. So all you need is look at the timelines, the application timeline, and know when each of those documents is required. Then you do first things first. There are ones that you may not be able to fulfill even after you have gotten the scholarship. That is when you may be able to fulfill some of them. So know the requirements that are needed first, go for them, get them ready. Then you now start the application process. That is the basic things that you need to do. And one of the things you may need to do is finding schools that you want to use, because these are the things that you need to do before you submit your application. Chevening on their page has a link to almost all the universities in the UK. What this means is that you can go to those websites, find the courses you want to study, and know what their own application criteria is or are, the application requirements are. You submit your application to those schools. I tell you, most of the requirements of the schools, if you're able to meet those requirements, I don't think there's an extraordinary requirement or document that you need for achievement. English language is the most important, like seems to be the commonest document. And for you to get admission, most schools will request for it. So most times when you meet your school eligibility criteria, you must have met Chevening. Chevening doesn't have an extraordinary requirement. So that is why you need to read. Then use that link, find the schools that you want to study in, go to those schools and go to the school website, the department and the course you want to study, look at it very well and know if it properly aligns to your career goal. If it does, then apply to those schools. Ideally, you can do all these things simultaneously, but because Chevening has almost like 3 months application timeline, it's usually best you create at least an account on Chevening page, sign up, fill in basic questions, fill in all the information you have at hand, and then you will have access to the essay questions. Personally, I would advise people to write out those essay questions on MS Word. Just copy them and paste there. And then take almost your 1 month or 1 month and a half answering this essay question. It's up to you how many times you want to elicit them. We'll still go into those essay questions in details, but these are smart ways you can get about them. So when you write them down, write as much as you can. Every time you visit it, you write, but keep it in MS Word. You can use other free time to be applying to schools. Now, within this period, you can submit application to as many schools as you want. Of course, you may not need to do more as many as you want once you know you are eligible and you are likely to get admission. But I would advise you apply to as many schools as you can. Now, there's a smart way and important thing that this application will do for you. By the time you write your supporting information for these schools, it must have given you time to think about what your career goals are. While writing supporting information for these schools, those your career goals that you are writing down, you still use them in answering Chevening questions. That's one smart way of getting cues. So those information, it will give you time to think out information to write in your own essay. Another smart idea you may draw from your school application is that when you are looking at the objectives of the courses you want to study, it will give you like a systematic, a formal idea of how to present your idea. You already know what you want to be in the future and why you want to do a master's, but you may lack the requisite terms, the requisite or maybe the right words to use to communicate this. Hello, excuse me.
So guys, let's just excuse him for some moment. I think.
Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I'm actually on the wrong place anyway because I had to stop over to do this. So sorry about that. So one smart thing that you need to gain that while you are reading about those courses, yeah, you know what you want to study and why you want to study, but you may lack the requisite terms or words or sentences to use while writing your essay. But when you go to those school websites, for instance, you want to study biochemistry, under the objectives of the course, you find out that the school will list out the objectives of this course. Oh, after this course, this person will can venture into this person can venture into this. So that gives you a smart clue. Because one thing I usually tell people is hard work is very, very fine. It pays. Hard work pays. But my dear, smart work pays as much as hard work, but it pays earlier. So sometimes you need to be smart, not just being hard work. So taking this approach will help you find out key things that you never knew about the course you want to study. Because Chevening will definitely ask you, why do you want to study this course? Why did you choose this course? Why this? Why that? But by the time you must have gone through all the courses and you have read through the website in detail, you must have highlighted key things and salient points that will help you answer these questions. But if you rush to the Chevening website to apply, blah 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 blah, it's fantastic, oh, but that is hard work. That is hard work. You really need to think it out. You need to, take your time, write it down. Those are hard work. But I tell you, to be smarter for you to go to those school websites, apply to those schools. You must have filled in important information on Chevening website, write out the essay questions. Then each time you are going through those school websites and you are preparing your supporting information, you are getting more information that will help you make it. Uh, what I will tell you that Chevening is first about what the story is about, what you tell them. None of them has ever met you, but they will meet you in your writing, in your essay. So the more you present it, the better you present it, the better the mental picture of what they have of you, right? Sorry, guys. So yeah, the better you write, the better for you. So the more information you have, the better you present yourself. It's like somebody that is going for a professional meeting. Somebody can come on t-shirt, or another person on singlet, uh, maybe, or just anyhow polo. No matter what you have, or no matter what you have to offer, once they see you, the bouncer will first of all open the door for somebody who is well dressed until probably you have an opportunity for you to say, oh, I'm this person, I'm that person. So that is how it is. Your essay will tell the story first before Chevening will request to see you. Because most times those that make it to the interview stage by God's grace, they're halfway. They're halfway to making it. They're halfway to making it for you to be selected for interview. So that's the first stage. When you are done with that, you can now come to essay writing. So essay writing, that is the major area now in the application.
Emmanuel,
Any
sorry.
questions so far?
Okay, good. I was going to say that actually.
Hello guys. Maybe I can pause for a while. Let's take questions and yeah, can have some break too.
If you have any question, just go on and ask. Unmute yourself and ask. If you want to type, you can type. Um, For those that typed their expectations, we see them. I believe he's covering everything there. And then if at the end of the day he doesn't cover any of your expectation, you can go on and ask. He's going to answer you. Okay. And also remember, we don't have enough time tonight. I think we've got 1 hour left, and he's got so many things to say. So if you don't have any questions at the moment, he can continue.
Okay, I have. Good evening.
Good evening, Emmanuel. You're
Good
welcome.
evening.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my Emmanuel. Yeah, thank you. Right in writing a leadership, I think the first step is writing a leadership essay, right, or something.
Emmanuel, if you are going into the essay part, he has not said anything about it. He actually asked
No, not
questions.
the.
Okay, go on, go on, go
Okay,
on.
you can continue. Okay. Now, I'm not going through the essay because I saw what Chevening the part of the procedures were so much and bulky. And the first part we was talking about was the writing your leadership portfolio. If I'm right, hope I'm right. Okay, so writing the leadership portfolio. So I want to ask, the leadership portfolio is you talking about any leadership position you've been involved with, whether being academic or non-academic level.
All right, Emmanuel, that's why I let you finish what you wanted to say. So
Okay, sir.
I don't think he has gotten to that level. Okay.
Oh, okay. I just joined. Sorry. I
No
just joined.
worries,
That's why.
no problem. All right, just relax.
Okay, sir.
We haven't talked much actually. We are just starting actually.
Okay. Okay, sir.
All right, you're welcome. So guys, any other question with regards to what he has already mentioned? I think he talked about the eligibility, the application process, written about the scholarship to know what it's all about, the various schools in the UK, applications, your English. Any questions on this point? No question. Emmanuel, I think you can continue.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a question.
All right.
I think he talked about the requirement, and then when I checked on the website, I saw that one of the requirements is one unconditional UK university offer. Does this mean that you have to have gotten some kind of provisional admission from a university before you can submit an application? Hello, somebody.
I believe he had you. He is going to answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard what you said. So maybe let me answer it before another person answers because I'm not writing. So the thing is that for you to utilize Chevening scholarship, you need to have admission. So imagine when they give you the scholarship and you don't have admission, they waste. So that's one of the major reasons they say you must have it. And anybody that has admission, for the that person must have met, like I said, okay, a school requirement is not different from Chevening requirement. So it's like it's showing them that okay, that this person truly should meet our requirement for you to have gained UK admission. For you mean like must have met Chevening requirements. So that's the major reason you need to have it. But it's not a prerequisite for you to submit your application. Even like 3 months to you just have maybe 2 months even to the beginning of the academic year for you to. For instance, most schools start in September, but you usually have up to July for you to have secured unconditional offer. But remember now, application application is very starting in tomorrow. Yeah, but you have up to July next year to get admission. So it's not a prerequisite for you to submit. But if you check, I say that it's usually good for you to start the application. That will give you also a clue on whether you're eligible to gain admission in that course you want to select because you still fill it in. So the earlier you start, the better for you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other question before we continue? No other question. Emmanuel, I think you can carry on. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think anyone has got any question so far.
Oh, okay, good. So we just have to then briefly scan through the, as much as we can anyway, scan through the question. One of the first questions, one of the questions asked is usually about leadership. Yeah, one of the first questions is leadership. So the question is that most times the question, I've not opened this year's question, but I'm just asking based on maybe 3 4 years experience. I haven't gone through the questions. So one of the constant questions is usually Chevening is looking for individuals who will be future leaders and influencers in their home countries. Explain how you meet these requirements using clear examples of your own leadership and influencing skills to support your answer. So usually what I is all about leadership and influencing skills. So first thing you have to know that these are two questions: leadership and influencing skills. Based on my own experience, I've seen that at least applications I've reviewed, I've seen most people focus on leadership and tend to forget about influencing skills. So note while filling yours that both leadership and influencing skills need to be highlighted. So first on leadership, when you talk about leadership, it's good you have the right perspective of what leadership is so that it will guide you. Most times, majority of us have a sole idea or perspective of leadership to be a function of position. It is not wrong when you see it as a function of position. That is, I was the head of this, I am the head of this, I am the president of this, I am the president of that. Yes, that is leadership. But it is also good and would help you in writing if you see it as a function of uh, problem solution, uh, well, being able to identify a problem and proper solution, even if you cannot solve the problem, at least you offer reasonable solution that would aid in solving it. And for you to be able to identify a problem, proper solutions, and possibly solve it, what it means that you possess certain attributes. You need to know that those attributes are the essential things that are needed. It's not just about the story. It's not just about the story. So, but at the end of what you have written, what you have said, one pertinent question that you need to ask yourself is, and so what? So you need to write this question down, and so what? Anytime you are asked question, you answer it, everything you have answered. Just ask yourself, if someone tells you this particular story that you are telling Chevening, and so what's so special about it? So that would help you criticize yourself constructively. So when you see it as being able to identify a particular problem and possibly solve it, that would help you to structure your answers. For instance, you can now basically identify a situation, what happened in that situation, what challenges did you encounter, how were you able to solve it, and what was the impact. That's the last question, and so what was the impact. So in answering it, it's usually good you tell it as a story. It mustn't be a very long sentence. Oh, I was this, I did that, I jumped that. No, you can just use few sentences to describe situation. Why was it a problem, or why was it important? Why does it demand my attention? Now, you as a leader, what did you do? You have passed the first one by identifying a problem. You have discussed that problem and why you think it's a problem or why you think it needs solving. Now, what did you do as a leader? So you describe your role in that leadership. Even if you were president of that, you were head of this, and so what? What did you do? Give example of one situation you used your position as a leader to solve. Why I first of all say that it must not be a function of position is that you must not be the president of this, president of that to have solved problem. And it's possible you might have been a president or head of this or head of that, but you were unable to solve any particular problem, tangible problem. So that's why it's good, no matter what, whether you're a follower or you're a leader in terms of position, doesn't matter. But describe the situation, being able to identify a problem makes you a leader. What did you do to solve it? Being able to contribute to solving it is also makes you a leader. So you describe a situation, what you did, your role in solving that particular problem. Now, what was the outcome or the impact? How has it contributed to your society? To what end did you do that? So that is, to me, that is a best way to describe leadership position. How you were able to use your leadership skills. Did you communicate well? Because communication is an essential role. So that might be what you project. Were you able to work as a team? For instance, teamwork is an essential attribute of a leader. Tolerance is an essential. When there was chaos, how were you able to tolerate? Working with people of diverse background, maybe people from different tribes, are you able to work with them despite their background? Were you judgmental or you tolerated everybody? These are essential attributes of a leader. And I tell you, once you tell your story, these attributes, you don't need to mention, oh, I have a good communication skill, I am very hardworking, I am a team player. No, the story you are telling, all these things will be deduced as you are telling those stories. And that is the reason your story should be your story. It should be a true life story. And you write in fluid pattern. When I say fluid pattern, it has to be coherent. So that somebody will understand what you are saying. This is the situation. I was in this park and I realized that everywhere is always messed up because this is a regular park that I use. I have thought of ways to solve this problem. Like you couldn't find any. You've spoken to probably the park manager and the person said that, oh, probably this place is the park is poorly funded or this mismanagement of fund. But you have access to young people who probably are willing to volunteer, who are passionate about keeping the environment clean. Or you know a friend or you belong to a group who are good at writing grants for fund, grants or that gives fund for community development. So these are possible characters that you may have. Either you know the people that have the fund or that have the right attributes, you go to them. How did you get to them? Did you build good communication with them? Can you write it? Were you able to write it yourself? Do you have good grant writing skill? Like different, I'm just trying to open your eyes to different things. So at the end of the day, is either you were able to mobilize people who help you clean this park once a week or once in 2 weeks, and at the end of the day, you realize the park is getting better. When the government or the people saw that, oh, what you are doing is really helping, people started being mindful. It might be that you don't clean it, but probably you bought a waste bin. You bought a waste bin and placed it in strategic places. And after a period of time, you realize that these places are usually clean. So you see, you just tell the story coherently how it happened. Or you're able to get those that can write fund grants. So they were able to get grants and funded the cleaning of the project or getting cleaning facilities or baskets or these are possible things. So make your story coherent. So I don't start from as a leader, I cleaned up the park. What happened is because I asked the man why he didn't clean the park. He said it. Like, you are starting from back, you know. You are telling the same story, but it's not coherent. It's not presentable. So you need to make it coherent. Yeah, so that is what I mean. So you need to demonstrate outstanding skills. Then under influencing, you may draw it from how you have influenced. For instance, this part that I just talked about. Assuming that part is not somewhere that you can just encroach into and do, or maybe something you have access to, you can't just have access to the facility to come and start clearing it. Or there are places that For instance, when you enter a community, you can't just enter a community and say you want to drill a borehole for them. You need to have the proper consent from the leaders, from local government, from this. How are you able to lobby the process? How are you able to influence people to behave in a particular manner? So at the end of the day, before you finish this leadership and influencing essay, you need to find at least one or two sentences where you would highlight how you influence others to buy into your idea and why they had to behave the way they did. So that's one, but make sure you mention how you use the influencing skill. So you just need to mention it outrightly that you were able to use your influencing skill to make this happen and make that happen. That's the emphasis I want to lay: leadership and influencing skills. Any question?
Guys, any question?
So, if no question, good. So, it's expected that an outstanding essay for leadership should have, you should state clearly your clear achievements, right? Recognition of achievement has to be very, very clear what your achievements are. So, clear results due to your own leadership and influencing skill. It has to be very, very clear what the results of that project is. Then how you have to demonstrate how you have like delve into what an average person wouldn't have done, and your essay needs to give like evidence of determination. You need to show that you are someone that is determined to achieve something tangible. Because if you can do well in small, what it means that you can do greater if given a greater opportunity. So that is one thing I have to tell you on the leadership. Questions, please.
Please, I have a question.
Yeah, I think sorry before you start. Okay, we still have about 45 minutes or 47 minutes. Okay, yeah, go on.
Okay, concerning the scenario you painted,
Mm.
concerning leadership and influencing, the scenario that you have to give, must it be a scenario that you have evidences to show for, like maybe they'll have to check to verify if you actually did these things you wrote about. Maybe they'll have to go to your social media pages to check, because there are some things you actually do that maybe, for example, you're not a social media person, you don't take videos and all that. Must these scenarios or things you write, must they be things that you can verify online or by other means? Thank you.
Okay, if you have the evidence, the answer is I wouldn't say yes or no. I wouldn't say yes or no. But what's important is the sincerity of the story. You still come for interview, even if you tell lies. You still come for interview, and they are looking for a leader, true leader, and sincerity is one of the key aspects of a good leader. So even if you are awarded the scholarship and along the line they find out that the stories you told them were lies by any means, whether it's in social media or anyhow, well, your integrity has been drawn to them, not just more soil, but I don't know, and the scholarship will be withdrawn. So what I will usually tell you is that don't worry about whether it is on the social media or evidence. Write a true and sincere essay. That is one. However, if you have an experience which has which has evidence to back it up, that gives more credibility to your writing. So nobody is pushing you to present evidence. It is believed that as a good leader worthy of obtaining Chevening scholarship, you should be sincere. However, if you have evidence, that will make it more outstanding and more convincing. So sometimes you might not have the right word to tell the story, but the evidence will speak the volume for you. So if you have, put it. If you don't have, don't worry about it. In fact, prior to this time, well, I wasn't a social media person per se, and for me, most of the work I did were volunteer work. and then maybe snake bites, normal thing, normal coursework, snake bite work, and those things not of recent. Like before now, you don't really see them on my Facebook or on anywhere. But they are my stories, so I have to tell them. Nobody cares about it. So just be honest and write what you know is the truth. So even if you're out of evidence, you wouldn't worry about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, please. So I want to ask: does this the story for the essay? Is there any limits to your wordings?
Yes. The answer is yes. So I will also encourage you adhere to the word count. Usually, the word counts are very, very reasonable for you to even tell, depending on how lengthy your stories are. But you can also tell two stories, so long as not two stories that don't really make sense. But if you have 500 word count, that's like one whole page. And I tell you, if you use precise words, you can reuse even that 500 words to write two stories, but it mustn't be up to two. So you have reasonably enough word counts to write your essays, so long as Chevening is concerned. Please, maybe one or two questions, or if was one question, so that we'll go to another one. If none, we can go to another one. Any question on the timeline, the host?
Uh, um, just carry on, carry on. We are trying
Okay.
to beat the time.
Sorry.
Lillian, you want
Yeah,
to ask
Lillian,
question?
go on.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. There's a question on the timeline, and I also want to ask the question. If you talked about English requirements, what exactly is the English requirement? Is it IELTS, or are there schools that require them and schools that don't require it? If there are schools that don't require it, which other evidence do you have for your English requirement?
So my best answer for
Hello.
this is I would advise you, like I said earlier, before you start your application, check the eligibility criteria. So I cannot really tell you that this school accepts that or doesn't accept that. It's up to you to go to that school website and know what their requirements are. And no, remember I said after reading the eligibility criteria, look for the exemptions. If your school or your country is exempted from writing IELTS, that is for your school. Then why not take the exemption? But if there is no exemption, then you have to abide by the rules. So it's up to you to go and read about it. Same is applicable to Chevening. So you can go and check what the English requirements are for your school and what for Chevening. Chevening may decide to waive it or not to waive it. And at this point, I need to also give a disclaimer. Yeah, I am a Chevening scholar. Chevening has not sent me to do this presentation. So I am not representing Chevening, I'm representing myself, speaking from personal experience. And everything I say here are my personal opinions. So maybe don't take it that a Chevening scholar or a chef Chevening told you this. No, everything I say here are my own personal opinion. You get the best information from Chevening website and possibly write to them for clarification. Yeah, but I'll try to give as much information as I have within this time limit that we have. Thank you.
Sorry, let me ask a question. Last question before we go to the next one. I don't know if I permitted.
Go on, go
Yeah,
on, go on.
but sorry for
Okay, my
cutting
question
it
is
short. I don't think Lillian. I thought Lillian wanted to say something. Let it not be that we cut her off. Lillian, are you okay with the response?
I asked two questions there. For
Yeah.
people, for schools that don't really require IELTS, which
Mm-hmm.
other certificate
Yeah. So
or
if they don't require, then they'll tell you what they require.
or which other thing can we use as, because I was, I've actually looked at the application required, and it was not clearly stated what exactly. They just wrote evidence of a proficiency, English proficiency.
Yeah. So you look for
So
other
I don't know if it
options.
has changed with this new. The other options is what I don't know if you have an
See,
idea of what those other options
okay,
could be.
Lillian, other possible options could be attestation letter. You may get letter
Okay.
of attestation from your school. You may present your WAEC results. Sometimes your transcript may serve because they check if you were taught in English language. However, this doesn't answer the question for any school. It's up to you to write to school and ask them. Of course, if they don't need English language, why should you then ask them if they need? But if they say there are exemptions or there are other documents, ask them what these documents are. So you don't need to ask them, remind them, well, is there English language or should we have English language when they have not asked for it. So, but if they ask, please email them. Feel free to email them.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay, no worries. Is it
Okay,
me
my
or
question.
somebody? Yeah.
Yes.
My question is this: is IELTS a prerequisite for Chevening? Why I'm asking is this because I know some schools in UK exempt English speaking countries like Nigeria from using IELTS to get admission. Now, if I happen to get admission in a school that doesn't require English language, do I need the IELTS before Chevening can give me their own scholarship? Thank you.
Thank you too. So the response is very clear. Even though Chevening is funding you to go and study, they have their requirements too. I know IELTS seems to be a common ground for schools and IELTS. So usually if Chevening says get IELTS and there is no second clause to exempt you, please get it. But I know that most times, from my years of experience, you must get your IELTS before July. And then I think no matter whenever they put the deadline for you need to get IELTS, as long as I am concerned based on previous experiences, you need to get IELTS for Chevening, irrespective of whatever school has said. School can, just like my school, gave me unconditional offer even without IELTS, but I still had to get IELTS to meet Chevening criteria. So if Chevening says get this for us, just get them for them.
It's all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think you can continue. I don't want to go into the questions on the timeline because you might actually answer them while you talk. So let's not draw you forward or draw you back. But
Okay.
at some point, we're going to address those ones. But just continue. That's why I said you should continue. Okay.
Okay, we'll take random questions maybe at the end. So for networking, Chevening is looking for individuals with strong professional relationship building skills who will engage with the Chevening community and influence and lead others in their chosen profession. Please explain how you build and maintain relationship in professional capacity using clear examples of how you currently do this and how you hope to use these skills in the future. So like I said when I was talking about leadership, everything about it here, networking is also about is a leadership attribute. But now they want to be specific on how you build on it. So building and maintaining professional relationship, it may refer to both either how you build it in your organization, how you build relationship in your organization, where you work, whether you're into trade, how you build relationship where you are trading, within your profession, just like if you're a lab scientist within the professional sphere, how do you build relationship? But I usually tell people it's good to have positive mindset about what networking is. It shouldn't be parasitic in nature. Oh, you are networking with this person, I'm getting this person's contact in case I need the person's help or something like that. It should be a mutual thing. So why answering this question? It's good you outline how you use your networking to solve problem. Okay, yeah, you know the president, you know the vice president, the minister of health is your brother, and so what? So, but how are you able? Oh, I've come in contact with Tony Melo. I've come in contact with whoever. How are you able to build? how are you able to build and sustain this relationship? And how have you used it to possibly solve problem? How are you able to sustain it? So for instance, you have a project to do, you don't know how to go about it, but you know people who know how to go about it. Maybe people that were in your circle, how were you able to get in touch with them? Could it be your schoolmates, your teammates? How were you able to engage them? To what extent have these people helped you to solve the problem? So these are the things you have to look. People in your network, how do you sustain them? And when you want to solve a particular problem, or when you need to build a mutual goal or mutual project, how were you able to go to? How were you able to go about it? So it's usually expected that in this particular place that you need to demonstrate, possibly with evidence, that you are someone who has a broad network, and you need to show this using a very clearly articulated and detailed examples, maybe from the networks you build through any means, whatever thing you do, whether you are into research, you are into teaching. So what is expected of you here is to state clearly with example how you have used this network, how you have built this network. When you attend conferences and you meet people, how do you use the network afterwards? So it's usually expected that you show how you use your skills, these networking skills, to make positive impact. Remember, in leadership, we also talk about making positive impact. You demonstrate how you have built all these things over the period of time. Like, yeah, you made this impact, but how have you built this network? So, and when opportunity presents to you, maybe there's a particular thing that you need to do, how do you take advantage of a professional network to solve it? It's most likely that I've never met 90% of us on this call. Maybe the host has never met you, but I know the host and the host knows me. His intention is to transfer information from who has it to who doesn't have it. So he's already using his own network to connect people he has never met and he may never meet. That is network. He is taking advantage. Where is this network coming from? Professional network. So he's already taking advantage of his own professional network to solve an identified problem. What is that identified problem? There are many youths who have clear vision, who are ambitious, who are potential leaders, who want to further not just for academic purposes, but have the interest of their nation at heart. But they don't have the fund to get it. I'm sure this might be the clear vision of the host. But now he knows someone who knows how to go about it. He is connecting people. This is a very clear example of what it should be. What will be the outcome? That those who have the vision but don't have the means are now connected to people who have the means. That is opportunity. Meeting, he is taking advantage of opportunity. So you need to demonstrate this. Then, of course, in networking, for you to use your network to solve a problem, you need to influence, because you need to really demonstrate to your network why the person should be part of either the project you are doing or why what they are doing. And you need to also kind of use examples that are innovative, that are sharp examples, not just I wanted to buy these carrots, I didn't know where I could buy it, so I asked an Aboki man who has lived here, I know he lives here. You need to look for something that this is competition. You need to look for something that is innovative and coherent also. So that would help you write an outstanding essay. So all about in networking is all about using concrete examples to show how you have used your network, the cycle of friends you have, the contacts you have, how you use them to solve problems. So it is very, very important. The network could also be drawn from your professional mentor. Oh, I never knew about this, I never knew about it, but your mentor, you had good rapport with your mentor, he had to guide you through him, you were able to get more people on board. Or it could be anything. So I think I need to be a bit fast now. I'm on the last. How many? This is 1 hour 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I really need to. 1 hour 30 minutes should be 9. Oh, that's a long time. Okay. So that's it for this. Maybe you can type in your question or write it down. Let me scan through the third essay and fourth one. Then we can take random questions and see how far we can go. So the third one is usually about studying in the UK. So they will ask you to outline why you have selected your chosen 3 university courses and explain how this relates to your previous academic or professional experience and your plans for the future. Please do not duplicate information you have entered on the work experience and the education section. Now we can appreciate why I personally would advise someone to first start sharing an application, fill in the basic information, write out the essay question, then go to schools. Because if you have gone through your school, read vastly, written your supporting information, you should be able to know more about the UK, even though you've not gone to the UK. Because every school would advertise their city, why their city is the best, they advertise their school, why their school is the best, advertise the course, tell you why the course has great potential. So by the time you must have gone through all these things, you have a clearer picture of the course you want to study and why you want to study it. That would give you a very clear idea.
Okay, further.
So that is why I usually drag. So usually here, you outline why you selected your school. So you need to take it from different angles. Your professional, usually your work experience, and your professional background, and your career. So I usually advise people to look for courses. It's not that doesn't mean you can't change profession. Maybe you studied mathematics, but now you want to go into public health. Somebody may ask, "Here, maths and the public health, how do they relate?" Yeah, they somehow relate, but you need to convince the reader why they relate. Because in public health, you may study statistics, you may do data science, you may do a lot of analysis. Yes, meaning you can do well there. In my class, we had a journalist who came to study public health. So it's not about the course you're choosing, but you need to align, you need to link them. So look at your professional background. What is it? Does it really line with the course you want to study? Even if it doesn't, it's not a problem. Will you be able to convince them why you should change or divert, go in that line? If you're able to do that, awesome. So you look at your work experience, even if you studied engineering, but all your life you've been working you had experience in biological sciences and suddenly you develop interest in biological sciences because you have done internship there and you have a requisite experience there. You can draw it from your experience while you want to. That will also sell, but usually better if you are working in the line of your profession. If you are fortunate to be working, your professional experience is in line with your academic experience, and you want to study further in this area, it will save you a lot of stress. None may be easier or more stressful than the other, but the storyline may be more coherent and more convincing. You may not need more workouts to tell somebody why you should advance. If I'm an engineer and I want to advance in a particular area of engineering, well, it's very glaring why I should go into that. So you convince your reader and make these things to be very, very coherent. So, and another thing that you should know that for your responses to be very, very smart and outstanding, you must demonstrate that you have researched into this course. So you must have done your research into the course and clearly articulate how the course will enable you. Yeah. carry out the long term. For instance, one of the key and smart things to do is look at your course models. The course models in every course, they will outline it on the website. Look at the course contents. Know what they are. Outline the course models that you are likely to do in that course. You want to study engineering, or you want to do this kind of engineering. These are the course contents. But you are most passionate about this. You chose this course because the course models properly align to what you really want to study, and they will help you achieve this or that. So look at the course models and see how you can develop from there. It's a very good guide for you in this particular aspect. So you need to demonstrate that you have researched about this course very, very well. That will help you. So then the schools, like I said, every school will always advertise why they are good, but you can still browse about them. So you state clearly why you have. Remember that three broad questions. You look at the course, you look at the school, and possibly the UK. Yeah. So it's good you research about the university you want to study, and then you demonstrate that you know more about the courses because you must have read it on the school website. And you have to do this by stating, oh, these are the possible models I will do. More interestingly, another thing you need to know here is to show that you have done your coursework. You can state the name of the lecturers that you know, maybe one or two, but one is okay, of a lecturer that you are most passionate about to meet. Oh, I'm interested because of the models are so fantastic, they are properly aligned to my objective. And more importantly, I'm so passionate about meeting this professor, Professor James Brown, because uh, from my review, I have seen that he has done a lot of research in this area, and I'll be very, very happy to share in his wealth of knowledge, blah, blah, blah. That shows that you have researched about this to the essence of knowing about a particular lecturer. Now, if you have ever had conversation with that lecturer, maybe via email, it's very good you state. The last email, oh, I haven't written to Professor, he's very, very keen to meet me, and I'm very, very eager and passionate to meet him and to learn from him. Having written to him, he's very willing to supervise me, blah, 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 blah. That shows that you have gone a step ahead to make that contact. So that shows how committed you are. Write about the school, detailed information about the course, and how it aligns to your career objectives. Because I know that very, very soon we'll go into the last part of the question. And you must know that none of those questions is in isolation. They are somehow connected from leadership to networking. Now the course is now connected, will now be connected to the career plans. So they are somehow coherent. So imagine when you have written all these things and if the questions are pulled out, only your responses are kept, and someone reads all your story as one piece of writing. We just started to remove leadership question, networking question, studying the UK question, and pull all your essays together. If someone reads it, how coherent would it be? How interesting would it be? And if you are the one who has that money, would you give somebody who has written what you've written money to go and study? So just think if you are the founder. If someone writes what you will write and present to you, would you give that person such amount of money to go and study in the UK? So put yourself in the position, in the shoes of Chevening when you read your essay and you tell yourself whether it is worth it or not. So it's expected that an outstanding, in summary, anyway, for this, it's expected that an outstanding response to this essay should have good rationale for choosing the three courses and universities. One of the potential questions that I expect that may come up is, can I choose the same course in three different universities? The answer is yes, in case you're not hearing that question. And can I choose two different courses in the same school? The answer is also yes. But for me, I have little concern with this. Choosing three different courses in the same university, are those courses somehow related to your career objective? You can't choose mechanical engineering chemical engineering, and possible biological science in the same school, just for you to have three different courses. But it's possible you can choose chemical engineering, petrochemical engineering, or innovation in chemical engineering. Something that's still within the context, within the courses, within your career goal. So if you decide to choose different courses in the same school, which I don't personally advise, but Chevening wouldn't prevent you, it's your choice. Make sure they are somehow related. But yes, you can choose the same course, maybe biomedical science in all the three schools. I love that because what it shows that this is what I want to do and this is something I am passionate about. That doesn't mean you can't choose three different courses, but this is me talking. So it's expected that you need to state clear rationale why you chose the three courses and the universities. And you have to demonstrate your knowledge and understanding of the courses. Then state clearly the relevant course modules that shows that you have researched. If you made any contact with any professor at the institution who maybe you would like to work with, to be very nice aesthetic, then well, everything you've written is very important, but you have to be smart here. Smartness here is you need to connect these courses, these modules, whatever thing you want to study. It's very, very good that you connect it to your long-term plans briefly, because I think the next question you have space where you can talk about your career plans. But it's very, very smart for you to, at this point, connect the courses to your long-term plans. This would also give a soft landing to the second question, to the last question, which is your career plan. Please write down your questions. I think I'm running short of time. So I think the career plan should be the last. So the last question is looking for individuals who have clear post-study career plan. So please outline your immediate plans upon returning home and your longer term career goals. So there are two sections to this, the short and long terms. So you may wish to consider how this relates to the UK government, what the UK government is doing in your country. So no matter the story you've told, no matter what you have, the courses you want to study, of course we all know that when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. So if you don't know the purpose, why Chevening should fund you, well, they send you there, I don't know if you will be a good Chevening ambassador. And even after sending you to school and coming back, what would you contribute to society? Would you add anything to your life, or would you still remain at the same level? So be in their shoes. So it's good for you to approach this. It's good you mention both your immediate and long-term plans. Then you take into consideration maybe remember what I said earlier, your field, like your field of study, your experience, possibly the kind of network you've built over the years. I told you earlier that these things are somehow linked. So the kind of network you build, are they properly aligned to your career goals? Yeah. So possibly what you will learn from Chevening experience, not just what you study in the classroom. What do you think that your experience in the UK would add to your career plan? And remember, it's not just about you. How would you contribute to the development of your country? They are not just investing in you as an individual. They are investing in you because they know that tomorrow, if you go well, you will impact many lives. In Nigeria now, I tell you, a lot of our leaders today are people that are doing well, even in different countries are Chevening scholars. For instance, owner of what's it called? A lot of you can't count them, you can't count Chevening scholars. Both some of these old men in politics, some of them are also Chevening scholars. channels television, a lot of them. You can't count them. Even the new what's it called? British Christian Association, or whoever the person in charge of Christian Association in the British Embassy. A lot of them, you can't count them. So they want to know how you will use your skills to impact on the long term, and you need to apply these things. This you may not really have enough space, but try and make it to be coherent and like link everything. So is in summary, so that I can take question. In summary, it's usually good you state you have a very clear post-study plan in short term. Post-study plan in short term means that when you come back in the first 2 years or less than 5 years after you are back from the UK, what would you do? How would you use your course? How would you use the network you built in the UK? How would you apply the knowledge you learned? How would you apply or strengthen the network you had before you left, plus the new network you've built? How would you apply this when you come back? Then you have to stick a clear post-study plan on the long term. On the long term, probably you are still in your mid-career stage in life. On a longer term, how would you want to go? Do you want to continue being employed, or do you want to be self-employed, or do you want to maybe go into this aspect of your life or this? So no matter what you write, it's very good you sound ambitious. However, despite sounding ambitious, you need to be realistic. If you are less than, for instance, 25, and you know that 25 years of age, and you know that the minimum age to be the president of Nigeria is 40, you can't say in the next 5 years I want to contest for presidency. This is an extreme example. I want to show you a realistic example. Or I want to build a particular health facility in the state of Nigeria. It's possible, but can you say you build it in the next 3 years? What is your income? What's your plan? So you make sure that in every stage you make realistic. Yeah, you need to sound ambitious, but let it be a realistic goals that you are setting for yourself. Then, how would you leverage on your Chevening experiences? Because you are going to participate in different Chevening activities when you are over there if you want. Conferences, host family if they are still doing it, a lot of things. How would you leverage on those experiences? How would they add to your career life? Even when you come back, we have the Chevening Alumni Network. How do you think you are going to add value to the network, and how do you think you would take advantage of the network to improve on yourself and add more value to the society? So, and how are you going to leverage on your previous employment, your academic background? You're a lab scientist. After going back, how would your experience as a Chevening scholar add to your profession? How would it add to your experience as a laboratory scientist? These are the things that you need to put into consideration. Then another one, which is important too, is it's good to know what the UK government. That's another. It's like another smart approach. You need to know what the UK government is doing in Nigeria. You need to key into it, because one good thing you have to know is life is about interest. Yeah, they are giving you this fund. It wouldn't be ordinary manual that would tell you that, oh, these people will still have their interests, whether stated or not stated. So if not for anything, whatever their mission is in Nigeria, you keying into it and making it realistic for them and contributing to it, it becomes a win-win for everybody. So it's an investment into you. The return on investment, they expect it to reflect in your country, not but doesn't end in your country. It should also be reflected in what the UK is doing, and what they're doing is for your country too. And possibly they still have what they should benefit from you. That there's no two ways about it. So you need to smartly read about what they are doing in your country and how your experience would contribute to helping them achieve it. Are they trying to strengthen primary care, and you have a health background and you are advancing in that area? don't you think that you collaborating with them in doing some probably health promotion projects would help them? Because a British man might not go to a very local environment to start doing sensitization, but you as a Chevening scholar, you can, yeah, collaborate with them and help them achieve that aim. So these are the things that you need to look at and know where you fit in and then go towards it. So at this point, I think I have to pause for a while and see the much questions that we have because we've got like 9 minutes to go. Thank you for your time and thank you for participating.
I'm not cheap with that because I'm number two. I'm not cheap with now. I'm number two. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thanks for your time. Thanks for giving us this power-packed information. And then just to emphasize on what he said again, he's just he's not a representative of Chevening. He doesn't work with them. He he's just somebody that I know that is a scholar, Chevening scholar, and then I know that many of us have been trying to get into this to get this scholarship, you know. Then I contacted him and said, please, can you talk to us how you did yours? Maybe if you follow your step one way or the other, we might be maybe there's something that we are missing. And of course, I've seen series of things that I I personally I thought that they are just just there, but these are the things that these people look out for. That is why I actually asked him to come speak to us tonight. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing out your time. Like he said, he said he was on transit, but he wanted to keep to time. He had to stop in a bar. It's probably cold outside, and he might be under the cold doing this. Thank you so much. It's really, I mean, thank you so much. Thank you. So, guys, before I just want to go through the questions we have on the timeline, the message timeline. But if you've got anything to ask that you don't want to type, maybe you want to speak, you are free to do that. But very quickly, let me just go through the questions here. We've got 7 minutes anyway, but we added 5 minutes for the latecomers to join us. So we're probably gonna add some minutes to this. But let's see how it goes. So Blessing is asking, do you need to travel back after 2 years when you are done?
Yeah, so the answer is yes. Like I said, you need to read about whatever the requirements are and whatever policy that Chevening has, whatever that is there. If you agree, you sign. If you don't agree, you opt out. But I think is a core requirement for you to return to your home country.
All right.
When after your masters.
Cyprian asked, I want to know what aspect of field the scholarship covers.
Cyprian, it covers every discipline. I have people that studied everything, mathematics inclusive, anything that is studyable, you can study. So long as it's a master's, I think there's a kind of flexibility for even those that want to do MBA, but they capped the amount. You need to read about certain conditions on the website to know the ones that are applicable to you. But to the best of my knowledge, any masters that is 1 year in the UK can be studied under Chevening scholarship. And I would advise also, while looking for schools, they can fund any school, but I would advise you look at Chevening partner institutions. You can get that link. All the schools that they list there, most of them are their partner, but you can verify whether that Chevening partners before you apply. If you pass to Chevening website, you would get it very, very easy. You don't need to go to Google and start looking for schools. Go to Chevening website, search schools and courses. Everything is there. Thank you.
All right, so Blessing asked, what are the requirements for the application? You've already answered this question, all right?
I have a question.
Okay, go on.
Okay. When you're talking about Chevening now, like I know about Erasmus. Okay. Now I know about Erasmus scholarship. Is like Erasmus scholarship. Do they'll show you different schools of choices. Now, if you surpass Chevening, like you pass through Chevening, with Chevening, will you make your choice under Chevening website or Chevening will fit you in your school? Hope you are getting my question, sir.
No, say that again, please.
Okay, I said if you in choosing a school.
Please speak into your mic, yo.
Okay, so sorry. If you choose a school, can you hear me very well now?
Sounds better, but it can be improved.
Okay. Okay, so I said in Chevening scholarship now. I love the way you presented your issue of applying it, your life experience. It's very simplified, and I've gotten my point from it. But what I want to get is the application of schools. Like you said, getting to know the professors of schools that you're applying for is it necessary?
You said whether it's necessary to do what, please?
Like professors of
Very
schools
well.
that you're applying for. Yeah, is it necessary?
Well, it's not a prerequisite. It's not compulsory, but it's necessary. If yeah, it's important. It's not compulsory, but if you do it, it shows how much you have invested your research. So
Oh,
it's not compulsory, bro. But if you can, if you don't have anything to ask anybody, why do you have to ask? So
okay, okay.
yeah,
So sorry, my last question now. Then
yeah.
then the schools under Chevening, will you can you
Touch your mic again, please. It has gone back to how it was.
okay, so sorry, sir.
Okay.
Then scholarship under Chevening can it be seen on sorry scholarship under can it be seen on the website like
You
schools
mean
under Chevening can it be seen on the website?
yes, you go to the website, there's a place where you search for schools and courses. Right? It will tell you search for courses and schools. You either search by schools or search by courses. I would usually advise people to search by courses because if you know what you want to study,
Okay.
that will give you a very good. So it will bring out all the schools that study that course that you want to study, all of them. So it's left for you to now choose. So they
Okay,
made
then
it
you
very
choose it,
easy.
then apply. Then make you
Yeah.
apply. You make application through it, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No
Thank you.
worries.
All right. Thank you, Emmanuel, for that. Thank you, Emmanuel, for asking. Thank you, Emmanuel, for answering. Um, so I will continue. Also, blessing, blessing, your question has been answered. Chidera is asking, is the scholarship just for MSc, or can one still proceed for PhD under the same scholarship?
Sorry, say that again.
Is the scholarship just for MSc? Can one still proceed for PhD under the same scholarship?
The scholarship, Chevening scholarship is only for MSc. However, they have another one for fellowship. That's if you're eligible to apply. But if you're taking Chevening Master's Scholarship, no, it stops at master's level. But if you're going for fellowship, that one is a different thing.
All right. All right, good. Thank you. So Kosi is asking, okay, Kosi was stating her expectation, which I believe is met. It's about writing and winning essays because I've been applying since 2019. I don't know why I've not been getting why I have been getting rejections. I think Kosi by now you should have seen one or two reasons why you've been rejected all this while. So
Yeah, so Kosi, sorry. Maybe one thing I have to tell you is that we are just saying it now. I'm talking to you as a Chevening scholar, but I never told you that I applied for 3 consecutive years. So I know how it feels to get that rejection. So, but inconsistency lies the key. And not just being consistent, submitting the same application, you need to keep reviewing the application. One of the things I think I lacked then was a mentor. I never had this opportunity. I never knew any Chevening scholar. It was just me in my room, just right, telling my own story in my own room. But today, the information is everywhere. You can find so many Chevening scholars who can help you, guide you like we are doing now. So if you have it, I don't expect you to have up to 3 years like I did, but keep trying. So long as I know Chevening, I don't know. It's the most transparent thing I've seen in Nigeria. Nigeria is transparent though, but I like the selection process. Thank you.
All right, Shakira, your question about getting admission before submitting an application has been answered. Okay. Samuel, kindly give us assets. I've already dropped the assets. I can copy and drop again. It's down there. I also dropped the link for where for our YouTube channel where we'll be posting this video after tonight, after the presentation, after this discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, go to be going checking the question. Somebody just made mention something that something that I just needed to point.
All right.
Submitting gaining admission before submitting the application. No, that is not what I meant. You must not gain admission before you submit. You can start the process. You can start applying. It's possible you can submit, but you don't have to wait until you get admission before you apply for Chevening. You can do both of them concurrently. But I would advise you search the schools, know what it entails, if possible, submit. But you mustn't wait until you get admission before you apply. Thank you.
Okay, is there a compulsive clause during the application process that you must return? It's been answered. Yes, you must. You must return after your.
You must return, right? Please return.
Because I think in what you one of the essays you are writing how you are going to impact back to in your country after your program. So you can't be outside your country and be impacting in your so you need to return, isn't it? So Chinua is asking I think he's asking, is there any implication when you stay back and you don't want to return?
Yes, it has serious legal implication. But for the sake of Nigeria, remember that when you stay back, he's already giving a very bad record about us.
Yeah.
And it's going to affect a lot of people who are supposed to benefit from it as well. So please return. It doesn't just have implication.
Okay, he said
others.
He added a clause. He said like when if you write your professional exam and get a visa to stay back, is it possible to stay back?
If you write a professional exam and you want to stay back,
and then maybe you pass the exam and they give you a visa.
Staying back, you have already violated the first rule. Just know it. There is no shortcut, and it's good that we don't have such intentions. Like as a primary, such intentions primarily. Things happen, and when they happen, you have to know, well, things happen. And when it goes beyond your own control, you have to speak with them. But I would personally advise you, only sign something you can abide by. So just follow whatever the contract is, whatever the rule is. Abide by it, please.
Someone is asking, someone is making a request. Let me go through the questions first before I come back to the request. Princess is asking, I have admissions to 2 schools. Is it too late to apply for Chevening scholarship? What's the way forward? I can answer this one. It's not too late. Chevening scholarship is just starting tomorrow. So you are right on time. Okay. So someone is making a request. Kosi Obona is asking, can we send our essays to you to review?
That would have been a very wonderful thing to do, and that's what I've been doing over the years. However, as it stands now, that would be the toughest thing for me to do at this moment, and do it well because of time. So please, I would have loved to, because I've been doing it, and besides, I also involved in a kind of a massive review, which I already booked. So adding extra to what I have now, it may amount to maybe not doing it well. So please, I may not really oblige to review essay. I can only advise the way I am doing now, but not to review essay. Let me not accept and we'll have issues with it along the line. So for time reason, please, I may not be able to review essays because I already have a lot that I've accepted to do for now.
You've already given us a lot already. Giving us what you gave us this night is a lot already. I remember in the last master class you also mentioned this. Just to let us know, he's in as much as he's doing this for us, he also has a life to live. He's working. He's a BMS here in the UK, and you know how it is here. It's very busy for him as well, and of course he has so many other things to do. Anyway, just go on with the essay. Follow the steps he advised us on. All right, follow the steps. Do what you have to do. Put in the best. Maybe in future, maybe because we plan having this master. It might not be. It might not be on Chevening again. It could be on some other thing. Maybe somehow he might have a free slot, and then he say, okay, if you have yours ready, and maybe by that time you have yours ready. Maybe I'm just saying. But just do if you follow the steps you already listed. I think you are good to go. Okay. Someone is asking, I don't know if you mentioned anything about working. Someone is asking, can you work for 20 hours?
The answer is yes, you can work while you are doing the sharing thing. So whatever the policy is while you are around, usually immigration policy is different from Chevening policy. So if the immigration rule says you have 20 hours permit, go ahead. It doesn't really concern Chevening as such. So abide by whatever thing you sign, whatever your visa says. If the rule comes to your time and say you are eligible to work for more than 20 hours, you work. Yeah, but usually you have your right to work 20 hours. Sometimes it might be increased, but if the right is denied, just follow the immigration policy. Whichever year you are doing your own, because I wouldn't advise based on previous year anyway, but whatever thing I stated on your visa, follow it. Nobody will interfere with that.
All right, thank you so much. Someone is asking about the steps involved. You've already treated this. Going back to do that is like starting this class ahead. However, you didn't miss anything because we recorded this master class. So I just posted a link where it will be shared. Okay. So if you missed maybe the beginning part of it, or maybe your network cut out because of some people we are leaving and coming back at some point, you are not totally left behind. You can always come back and watch the video. Okay, so we have the playback for it. We are going to upload it. So it's 8 minutes past the hour of 9. I was looking at we finished everything before 9:15, and thank God we are doing that. I don't know if anybody has any other question or any other request or any other suggestion or any other anything. Hope I touched every question. Any question? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for attending. And thank you for keeping to time, because one of the things we look out for in our masterclass is to keep to time, okay? Because so many people are there, so many of us, for those of us that are here, I know that most of us missed the Big Brother Naija nomination, because I know it happened this period. They just did the head of house stuff, So I know it's big. Most of us here are youths, the program is youthful, kind of, so it's big sacrifice leaving that to be here because you did this. My prayer is that at least 99% of us here, and the only 1% of us that will not get this thing is the presenter. Iman has already been a scholar. Every other one of us is going to get it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. CKC. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Chino.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for attending. A very big thank you to Nadi Emmanuel. I just spoke to him 3 days ago, right? Yes. And then he immediately made this available because tomorrow is going to be the first day for the application. And then he said it's going to be timely. We do it tonight. And I'm very sure he cancelled so many things. It could be he cancelled work. It could be he cancelled meetings. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody that attended as well. It's not easy to be here. Burning data, burning time, and thank you to everybody. Thank you to myself too. My name is Chukwuebuka Chiekezie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So guys, if you some people dropped their email. I have most of our emails for those that attended the first master class. So it's easy for me to share information. Maybe when we drop the videos, I send it to your email thread. When we are having another master class, I send it to your email thread. You see it first before any other person. Usually our master classes are packed. It's difficult for people to come in. Maybe tonight is because it's kind of particular to Chevening. People that are here are people that actually need it. So subsequently, if we have your email, it's easier for us to send messages to you. And also on our YouTube, if you can, I think I've pasted the link here. That is where we share our videos. Okay, that's where we share our videos. You can also go back there and go ahead. We shared videos on scholarship applications, MSc applications, getting jobs. Okay, that one was particular for biomedical scientists. Okay, in future we'll be doing more of this. We like doing this. We enjoy doing it. Okay. Our prayer is that God will continue to crown our efforts. Okay, with success. Okay. I'm optimistic. Most of us will get Chevening this year. I'm very optimistic.
Mr. Chikesi, please, I have a personal question to ask if you don't mind.
Don't ask where I'm based, though. I hope you're not the one that asked that question.
I'm the one asking.
I'm based in my house.
A personal question like I asked, sometimes it also helps our mentality, right?
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Someone coming. Emmanuel, go ahead.
Yeah, please, I'm taking permission. I hope we are done now. The question is left for you, so I can exit.
Yeah, go ahead. You can go. Thank you so much. You can exit. Thank you. You can go back to your house.
Thank you guys for coming around. I wish you the best in your application.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Emmanuel. So guys, we are through for tonight. If you want to leave, you're free to leave. I'm just trying to copy all the emails before I log off so I don't lose the emails, okay?
All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, good night. Thank you for attending.